Wyrds web, the old Germanic matrix of fate woven by the three Norns, which will give you the heritage of a good fortune uh, through a good family Heiliger or through your own good Heiliger, your personal Heiliger. These are all really fantastic conceptions of life, of family, of personality, and modern day alternative psychological healthcare is very often just old wine in a new bottle. In the previous video, I gave you a brief insight in the obvious parallels between my job as a hypnotherapist and one of the functions of a shaman or priest in the old days. And okay, they operate from a different setting or with a different purpose, but the thing is that I most of the time see people when it's too late, and with shamans, they usually can work beforehand. But in a remote past, a priest or a shaman also worked around the theme of health. Um, but what is really for sure is that they work with the same state of mind as I do with my clients today. That's a state of deep focus that is so deep on a certain object or idea, so deep that everything on the outside stays on the outside. So there's only focus for the main theme, and that's my cuckoo. And once that you're in that state of mind, that you serve on that particular brainwave, we can take out what needs to get out, and we can put in whatever that you want to benefit from. You can put in whatever positive change that you want in your life. Another part of my services in my practice is family constellation and systemic analytics. So, just like hypnosis and hypnotherapy, this is nothing new under the sun. So, what are family constellation or systemic analytics? This is a method where I, by observation, point out the dynamics of a group of people that interact with each other. This can be any group, a group of workers, a sports team, but most of the time this is a family. And it could be the case that someone within such a group, as a result of certain negative dynamics, gets trapped in a web of interaction and hierarchy. But if this goes in a bad manner, people really suffer from that. And actually, we all act in a such a web, and that's why it's a great parallel with the web of Weird. But everyone weaves his own net for better or for ill. And of course, I have my own way of thinking about it and my own way of working. So there are two main categories of systemic work, and they are both great in their own right. First of all, a constellation with people in real life. So the constellation points out the form or figure that people will make if they do a constellation. And this is the same as a web or a net. So, and this also points out how people of a certain group or a family are interwoven, how they act with each other, and what is the influence on each other, both in a mental and physical way. So, with such constellations, the attendees, so to say, they won't know each other either. And this is something which is very important to get the best result. Such a constellation will not have a good result with real family members or with friends or people who really know you. That's because of the fact that otherwise a prejudice can sneak in. And this will harm the real constellation or the power of what strange people can bring to the situation. So let's assume that someone wants to learn about his or her dynamics in interacting and wants to resolve deep rooted emotional matters. Then I let them choose someone in the group. So I have a group of people, 10 or 20 people. And first of all, I let them take one person that will represent him in the group. So I will use the example of a male, otherwise I all have to say each time him or her. So let's assume that this is a man and he will take someone to represent him in the group. So most often he will take another man, which he intuitive thinks that can stand for him in the constellation. And then we will try to find out why this net, this metaphor, this blueprint, this matrix is set up the way that the client did. But then we're gonna search for the answers, but the answers are not within the client, but the answers are for the strangers for the client that are put in the constellation. So I will ask the representative of the mother uh, why that she is looking at the father and what that she feels that the father is not looking at her. And then I will ask the father figure, why are you looking away from the mother? And you would really be amazed of the answers coming from that. So this really comes from a really different angle, often as the client sees for itself. But it is also most often the case that it's really difficult to see in a really objective manner what is happening, especially if you are within that web of interaction and hierarchy, habits, and all that. So this is a really great alternative way to receive information. And you really should witness this once in your life to have a different view on your own life. But also, what's the case, what is very interesting is that very often people who are in a likewise situation, which are put in such a constellation, that they, because they live in the situation, that they also sometimes feel better afterwards. And this is something that's not so strange because the concept of family constellations uh, also was seen like 100 years ago with people who were practicing for theater. And when they went for a practice, but they left home with and they had a quarrel with their spouse. And if it was the case that the play had to be about something in the direction of a quarrel or a battle with a spouse or a man, that afterwards that they really felt different about their own home situation because they somehow stepped in a living metaphor and they resolved a struggle or an obstacle, so to say. So this is a really a great way of seeing situations different, of getting a good analytics of your situation. And besides that, if you are really open for it, and then we are again with what shamans can do. They can set you in the same way like in a tableau vivant or a living metaphor. And if you play in that metaphor, it can really do a lot for your mental and physical health. And that's the great subject of family constellations. And the second method is with a constellation on a table where the client is in front of me and we are sitting on a table. And I have like wooden figures. They are from the best wood you can find. It's actually from the world tree, but no one knows. And it goes the same way. So they put a figure for their father, for their mother, for their child, or whatever, and then we will see how the net is woven on the table. And then I let them see through the lens of the figures that they put on the table. And this is the same way of working, the same concept, but in this second way of working, I have to be the moderator. So, like I said before, in these first three videos, I will somehow set up the frame where I'm coming from, what my work is. And after this video, we will delve deep into the matter. So next video, I will talk about the coming period of All Saints Day and how you can remember your forebears and how this is also interwoven with the web of Wyrds and how you can get a good family highlighter. See you next time. Please like, subscribe, or leave me a comment under this video. Cheers.